Yours, Mine and Ours is a really brilliant episode of Full House. This is the 21st episode of the 5th season. It's directed by Bill Petty, and as always there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And there are two main parts of the narrative, so I'll talk about each of them in turn. And the first one involves the Tanner family fun night. And this comes about because the girls are all bickering about the bathroom. Joey's not feeling great either because there were some problems with the junior rangers. So Danny decides they'll go and have Tanner family fun night and cheer everybody up. Joey's face, everybody's face was brilliant when he said that, but Joey's in particular was great. Nobody is enthusiastic about this, at least except Danny. And they go to this pirate-themed restaurant, really nice environment, really nice space, very atmospheric, not the kind of place I'd like to be, and nobody else really wants to be there either. Stephanie's not too bothered, but she orders food with eyes, which I'm with her with that one, no thank you. Michelle's unhappy because they're out of chocolate cake, and DJ's embarrassed because there could be some kids there from school, and then a child sneezes in Ranger Joe's food because they approach Joey for an autograph. So it's just an absolutely terrible experience. And they're about to leave, but Danny ends up having to walk the plank. And it's quite a comical scene. He stands up saying that this was not what he'd envisioned for the night. And then Stephanie walks up behind him and says that she could have been in a better mood. And then Joey, and then DJ and Michelle's there as well. And they end up all jumping into the ball pit. And it made my skin crawl a bit because I can't imagine ball pits are the most hygienic. I used to play in them as a child, but definitely don't want to be in them as a fully grown adult. But it was a really delightful scene and a really nice way to conclude this part of the narrative. Then we come to Becky and Jesse. And they're basically arguing about how to raise the babies. And they don't seem to agree on anything when it comes to the care for the babies. And I imagine that this is probably something that a lot of people can relate to. And I think it raises some really interesting points, and with a lot of comedy as well. Jesse went to get pizza and he forgot to put the hat on the baby, and this really upsets Becky, and they end up both phoning their mothers. I'm not sure why they have two phones with two separate lines in the attic, but nevertheless they do. Maybe one's the house phone, maybe the separate line is for the attic. I don't know, I'm overthinking it. Either way, they both phone their mothers, and it's a beautifully executed conversation because they're both talking at the exact same time, but we can hear what both of them are saying, and it's just very, very well done. And I could see it coming. I couldn't remember this from the last time I saw the episode, but I could see it coming with the two mothers talking to each other, or trying to talk to each other, through both of the phones, which I just thought was pretty entertaining. Very, very well executed scene. And needless to say, Becky and Jesse are still arguing. And then we get a flash forward. Ordinarily, I don't care for flash forwards in any TV show, not just with Full House. But actually, I really enjoyed this one because we flash forward to teenage Alex and teenage Nicky. And the premise is basically Jesse has raised one of the boys, and Becky has raised the other. And they're played by Rani and Gail Sharone. And I thought they did a really great job. One of the boys is, well, they're polar opposites. One's very much like a young version of Jesse before Jesse became a parent. Wild, carefree, pretty bad attitude. Actually, he's a lot worse than Jesse, I think. He's definitely an extreme. And the other one is, well, he plays chess, and he needs Becky to put cornstarch down his trousers because he has a rash, and it's definitely very different, and it was fun. I liked it. As I said, ordinarily I don't like flash forwards, so the fact that I liked that tells me that it was pretty decent, and I really enjoyed it. The length of time as well was good. It was only for a couple of minutes, and I thought it worked really well. We got enough out of it without it dragging on. And then Becky picks up one of the boys, and she realises he's looking a little flushed. And I love this. Not the fact that he was flushed, but instantly Becky and Jesse start working together. They don't even think about it. And it goes to show that when they need to work together, when it's really important, when one of their children is sick, they work together. And what I love about this as well, and I think this could be a really good message to anybody who might be having a lot of anxiety about keeping their children as well as possible, is that initially Jesse thought, it's my fault, I took the baby out without a hat on and now he's sick. But it was the other baby. And the message there, or the message that I'm reading from it, is that you can do everything you possibly can. Your child's still going to get sick. It's inevitable. And here we see that this wasn't the baby who went out without a hat on, but he was the one who got sick. That's not to say you shouldn't take precautions, of course, but the point is, things are going to happen, and the most important thing, as we see, is working together. And Becky and Jesse do realise by the end of the episode that they just need to compromise. And they change the baby's diaper, and they do it together and with a bit of compromise, and it was a sweet way to end things. So, needless to say, I thought that Yours, Mine and Ours was a really great episode of Full House. Personal highlights would be everybody's faces when Danny suggested the Tanner family fun night. Just the atmosphere of the pirate restaurant, I thought it was pretty great. Again, not somewhere I'd personally like to go, but it looked really good. And the flash forward with Becky and Jesse, and the conversations with both of their mothers at the same time. And then, of course, ultimately, Becky and Jesse working together. Really great episode. No complaints. Yours, Mine and Ours. It's a pretty brilliant episode of Full House.